In this session, we are going to see with lookup theory part that we discussed, and before also, while discussing with the lookup stage, we have discussed that some topics are pending with lookup, so that I'll be covering now in this session. So the lookup stage we have seen with comparing join and match, and what all differences we have between join, match, and lookup. Okay. So now in lookup stage, I'll just take one space and I'll tell you. Okay. Here space, small space. I don't require a special job for that, but just see. So once there are types of lookups. If someone asks you, uh, what types of lookups do we have? So we have normal lookup, sparse lookup. So how can we define which is the sparse lookup and how to define a normal lookup? See, generally, whatever we discussed in the session of lookup concept, in that case, that lookup is normal lookup. And whenever you specify with sparse, how to define a sparse means just in the reference, go to the corrector, you can see here the normal and the sparse in the lookup type. Normal and sparse in the lookup type. Why should we have two types, and how do the lookup stage behave when you have two types of lookups? And normally not only two. If you go for another lookup, there is range lookup also. There is another lookup called range lookup also. For example, if you see here, equality caseless is nothing but your varchar lookup condition with a small case sensitive. That is what caseless. That is not big deal. But only the range lookup is next level of concept. So here the range you need to specify. So majorly the range values will be like lookup will be date values for insurance companies. If you see, there will be some age limit for some insurance policies. So in that case, it should pull only the range of these age group people from the customers. Then in that case, we require this range lookup. We do this range lookup, okay? Or else salary. If this sometimes you get messages. If you are so and so salary or employee, you have this much of eligible of a loan without any documentation. So like that, we have some information. If you want to pull some range of salaries employees, that is like a range of salaries. So that also we can do range lookup. So that is what. So three types of lookups we can say: normal lookup, sparse lookup, and range lookup. So normal lookup already we have just seen, and sparse lookup will work. We have seen now. This is what just, but we don't run any job. Any data is not required. I'll tell you when do we go for which case, in which lookup. See, this is your primary table. I'm sorry, reference table, and this is your primary table. Okay. Normally, see, this is your primary. This is your lookup. I'm coming to sparse lookup design. I'm not discussing here. So primary is data. Primary means what? Mostly important. For example, for other word of primary means master. So primary data, if it is more and reference data is less, in the less in the sense in the count of records. If you are getting primary data 10,000 records, and if you are getting 5,000 records or 6,000 or 9,999 records from the reference, then we can go with normal lookup. But the case when you have primary data 10,000 and when you have sparse lookup, when you have lookup data with more than primary, then you need to go for sparse lookup. So what will be the flow in a normal lookup and what will be the flow in a sparse lookup? So normal lookup, the first data, see I told you in performance, the huge volume data is not recommended with the lookup, but the huge volume data is recommended with join. Why? Because join uses a physical hard disk to do condition, and match also uses a physical hard disk, but lookup uses RAM. So RAM is expensive. It's very expensive. So how the normal lookup works? First, the primary data will move to the RAM, and next the reference data will move to the RAM, and there the lookup will perform in the RAM, and then the output will be populated. This is the normal lookup process. Normal lookup means when you go for primary data more than reference. But if you have more volume of data here in the reference and normal less than reference data in the primary, then if you do lookup and if normal lookup, it will be a performance degradation and sometimes it may be crash. So that is the reason when you have more data, when you compare with primary in the reference, then go to sparse lookup. Then the what sparse lookup does, the sparse lookup will take more volume of data into the RAM first, and next it will perform with the primary data, take primary data. So to get change of this particular concept, we go for sparse lookup. So normally people will ask you, what is different between sparse lookup and a normal lookup? The flow, the first but when do you go? When do you go means when you have more volume of data in the reference, when you compare with primary, then only we are going with sparse lookup. So what will happen when you go for sparse lookup? The first it will take the primary data, reference data into your RAM, and next it will take primary data into the RAM. So that is your sparse lookup. And does the database or does the flat file support a sparse lookup? No, nowhere you can specify a sparse lookup. But if the reference data is in a file, then what to do? Just to take one particular job to dump the file data into lookup file set, and lookup file set you can make as a reference, then by default the lookup file set will be the sparse. So this is a separate job which will dump the data of a flat file into a lookup file set, and lookup file set will extension will be fs.fs. Okay, so this file you can copy here like dataset only. Okay, so this job will run next to this job will run. So this is a dependent job. So this is what about lookup file set and lookup types of lookup: sparse lookup, normal lookup, and range lookup. And if you go with what do we say, with a write a range map in development debug stages. So this is your one of partitioning technique, range. When you are using range kind of lookup, then we use this range map. But exactly I am even not sure because I haven't worked with range map, but I know theoretically saying that this is like partitioning wise it will help us. But how and how much it will help, frankly speaking, and to be honest, I'll not be sure. I'm not sure. Okay, but it is a concept of a range map, a partitioning technique, range and range lookup and range partitioning technique. When used, it will help us. Okay, so this is what about a lookup concept that we left theoretically. And apart from this, we have one more concept to discuss with Oracle connector. The Oracle connector, as we use as a source, what all information we can see. These all like options we have, and these are to improve your performance. These are the connection details. And these are usage details. Usage in the sense like read mode. What you can do, you can read it, select, either you can write a call a procedure. Okay, SQL runtime. What is yes and no? Generate SQL at runtime means if you are giving the table name, it is going to build a query at runtime saying that select star from DEPT. Go to the lookup file set, see the run. It will throw you the select statement. It will push this select statement, select star from DEPT. So this is your table name you are providing, and automatically it is generating a query. And if you say no, it will ask you to write a query. You can write a query. Select star from EMP, DEPT, all this information you can write from here. And read selection from a file. You can read a file even. If you make it yes, what will happen? Automatically it will give an option to read that file. This is your file. You can specify here. Okay, so nowhere mostly it doesn't happen. Mostly you can write on your own. Okay, so enable partitioning reads. These are like Oracle partitioning. Then you can use to read the data from Oracle server and there are multiple servers that we have. There are multiple servers that we have. There are multiple servers that we have. Okay, partitioning techniques, not servers, sorry. Partitioning techniques we have row id range, row id hash, round robin, so modulus. Some are like data stage same, but mostly they use like a row id they use in the Oracle, and they use some range values, hash values, round robin like what we have seen in data stage, and the minimum and maximum range, the range of values. Oracle partitions, if you want directly, we can use them even. Okay, so this is what a partitioning concept of Oracle. And transaction, read committed and read count n number. See, for example, you have 1 lakh of records. So for every flow moving from server to data stage, how many records you need to read? And once they are read, how many records should be committed? For example, I have the 1 lakh and 10,000 records got loaded. Obviously, due to some network issue or something, connection got disconnected. Again, this 10,000 records need to be read. Instead of that, if you say read committed after 10,000 or something, what will happen automatically? After loading completion of 10,000, it will commit. So if you get next time from 1 lakh one record, it will start 1,000 10,000 one record, it will start, but it will not start from the first. So serialize we have serializable and read only. So serializable like serially, like every record should commit. Then it will be a performance wise some issue. So that will not help us. And session. So array size, read count and session array size will be somewhat interlinked, and based on that the flow will be more. So you should be very careful to redo these things. Okay, and log references, these are not preferable for us to go with, because these are like for different data sources like images or something else. We don't require for a normal use. Okay, and next, run or before SQL statements. So if you write a statement, if you want to run before to this statement, any statement, that you can write a before SQL statement, or after execution of this statement, if you want, you can write SQL statement. For each node, if you want to write a statement, you can write a statement. So like this, we can use these all options to improve your performance and to read multiple ways, to read in multiple ways of Oracle database using this Oracle character. We use this concept. And next, in the previous stages, in the previous to data stage Oracle connectors, in 8 version we got introduced Oracle connector, but from 8.5 these are default versions. But before to that we should have an enterprise stage. But before to that, we should have enterprise stages. For Oracle also, every stage is an enterprise stage, but from 8 onwards, the Oracle connectors are key. What is difference between enterprise and a connector means? Connector, by directly it goes to the database and hit the server and get the data. But enterprise stage uses ODBC driver to get connected with the database server. That is a performance degradation. So these are the some concepts that I want to discuss theoretically. So Oracle connector and enterprise stage, the basic concepts that I cover, and this is just overview of these two components. Okay, like Oracle connector of all the databases, the same way it will be. Mostly connector and enterprise stages only difference people will ask you. So major difference is only that connector is a Java code program which will directly hit the server and of a particular database and get the data, and from the server itself. But whereas Oracle Enterprise Stage, it uses help of ODBC drivers and get the data. That is the major difference. Okay, and this is what about general topics of these concepts. And next we'll discuss with type 2. Mostly we are done with designer, talent jobs, and we will completion of type 2 implementation. We will go to sequence concept even. Okay, thanks for watching this.